Hi everybody, this is Chris from Team Builder with Bite, and what you're currently seeing in front of you is the design which we never quite finished, but it's for a couple of carnivore species, so it would have been snow leopards and lynx. Now, as I said, unfortunately we never got round to completing this design, but as we got this far, we just kind of wanted to share with you and sort of show like our thinking process on what the different features were in this enclosure, and of course onto the enrichment as well. So it's a lovely big space. So it would be made up of two different enclosures. So one on the left over here, which, let me check my notes, 40 meters by 34 meters, and then the one on the right hand side here, 28 meters by 34 meters, with this beautiful big sort of walkway and viewing / picnic area right in the middle here. And whenever we're designing any of our enclosures, which we then obviously go on to build, we kind of look at things from three different points of view. Obviously from the public point of view, which is very important, but for us, Team Builder with Bite, we deal with animal welfare, enrichment. That's very much top of our list. So we'll always be looking at things from an animal point of view, and also from the keeper point of view as well, to make sure that the way that keepers deal with the enclosure and obviously with the animals in that space is as easy as possible, but as functional as possible as well, so you have everything that you possibly need in there. So along the front of the enclosure, it's actually made up of three different parts, and the reason for this is because although viewing from the public is very important, what is equally, if not more important from our point of view, definitely more important, is the fact that the animals feel safe and secure, and they don't feel like they are being watched all of the time. So yes, we have got the windows along here, but you'll also notice that there's very large areas where actually the viewing from the public point of view isn't as much. So you have these little peephole spots along the windows here, and then as we come along a little bit further, you'll notice that we've also got these planted up areas here as well. So the idea of the planted areas is that yes, the public can see through them, but an animal on the other side doesn't feel like they're being watched, doesn't feel like they're being looked down on all the time as well, so they feel a lot more comfortable in that environment. So public point of view, you could probably always see the animals in there, but those animals feel incredibly secure in that space. So that kind of design is actually repeated all the way along this enclosure. So you have window, peephole, planter, window, peephole, planter, and that goes all the way through to the second enclosure along there as well. And as I said, in between these two enclosures, we've got this beautiful walkway area, which is also a picnic space as well. So it's you can have picnic tables underneath here. We potentially have a little bit more undercover, sort of umbrellas and things, and it's also a viewing space into the enclosure. And then as we go up and around here, something which we didn't put into the design, which was very much planned, was that there'd also be windows along the sides as people walk up the walkway here as well. So because obviously a lot of our construction is done in timber, one thing that we wanted to do is to make the most of the beautiful large oak trees which are in this area here, and actually have the walkway basically go all the way around these gorgeous oak trees, all the way up into this sort of lovely viewing area which is up the top here. And this viewing area is essentially doubled up as like a beautiful picnic place as well. But because you've gone upwards, you are now directly underneath the canopy of these oak trees. So you've got obviously protection from the shade, from the potentially from the rain as well. But from the animal's point of view, because you are now up within all of these branches and leaves and things, there's not loads of you there all staring down on them, feeling sort of suppressed. Like, you're now hidden within the branches themselves as well. So it's a nice visual barrier for the animals from the public. And we absolutely love that idea of sort of getting people right up into the trees. Now, the building itself, we never actually got to design this. The building which you can see here is from our Filey build, which was done for primates, but we put it in here just for scale, just to sort of give ourselves like a little bit of an idea about how we were setting this area up. But the idea which we had planned for this is that the building would be divided into two, so that the two different species couldn't see each other, hear each other, smell each other. But from a keeper point of view, when they're cleaning it out, imagine obviously the animals are both outside the enclosure at that point. Obviously they've kicked them out while they're in there cleaning. It means that there's an internal wall which can then literally just slide away to allow the keepers to easily move from one end of the building down to the other end and do all of those cleaning duties without having to continuously come in and out. We're also looking at putting in like a crush cage in there, training area, to obviously make sure that you can do everything you want to with the animals in this space, looking after them as best as possible. So going around this way, underneath the viewing area as the walkway, we've got this lovely little sort of like windows and things looking into here, and once again looking back in onto the picnic space as well. I just love the way that this sort of wraps around the trees here. It's a beautiful, beautiful idea. But yeah, the actual space itself, like I said, is nice and large. And unfortunately, we never got on to the designing of the enrichment part within this enclosure. So for us, doing the building and the construction things is just a mean to get to the enrichment, because that's our favourite part. If you've seen in any of our other videos, you know exactly what we do. So that is by far our favourite part. So we had like a few ideas got sort of buzzing about in our brains. And the main one that we were looking at was Pandora, which we did for the leopards at Port Lim, which we loved when we did it, and hopefully at some point we might be able to get down there and expand it. But that's what we were looking at doing inside these enclosures. So a combination of floating platforms and solid platforms, shelters, visual barriers, all kinds of things. And actually what I haven't put on this design is that there are also other trees in here as well. So those sort of, that Pandora would be dotted about among the trees, which the cats would also have access to. So yeah, it's a lovely design. It's a shame that we sort of never got to complete this design here, and also obviously get on to building it as well. But we're very proud of actually where we got to here, and hopefully it will spark somebody's interest. So please do make sure you're sharing it with your colleagues or your bosses, the people that hold the purse strings, because we would love to design something very similar to this and actually get it into a production, because we think it have massive benefits for the cats that will end up living in these areas. So don't hesitate to get in touch with us. You can find out more about us at teambuilderwithbite.com or email us at info@teambuilderwithbite.com, and we'll get back to you and have a good chat about it. Anyway, thank you very much for watching the video, and like I say, go and share it with your bosses, because they're the ones that get this built. Cheers guys.